Did you know that people who feel lonely have higher rates of depression, anxiety, and difficulty sleeping? Loneliness is a really serious issue, especially as people get older. So what does it mean to be lonely? A lot of people would think it means that you're alone or not around a lot of people, but that's not necessarily true. Have you ever been around a group of people and felt alone? Or if you're like one of my Dementia Care Club members who was sharing recently, she's never alone. Her husband with dementia is around her all the time, yet she feels incredibly lonely. When people are lonely, it impacts their mental health as well as their physical health. And not being lonely doesn't mean you have a ton of friends or you have to go out and do all of these social outings or activities. That's not it at all. There's plenty of people who spend a lot of their time alone or spend a lot of their time with maybe just one or two people, a few people, and they don't feel lonely at all. Loneliness has nothing to do with how much you do or how many people you know and interact with. In 2018, AARP did a study and found that 1 out of every 3 adults over the age of 45 felt lonely. And those adults were the general population. They weren't even caregivers. They weren't even dementia caregivers. And that was before the pandemic. By mid-2020, AARP found that 67% of older adults felt socially isolated. That's over half of older adults feeling socially isolated. And again, that's the general population. That's not the caregiving population. That's not even the dementia caregiving population. We can imagine those numbers are much higher. And while it might make intuitive sense that people who are lonely also report higher levels of depression and anxiety, loneliness can also impact thinking, reports of pain, whereas people who feel more lonely have higher reports of pain and impact sleep. There was also another study in 2018, I'll make sure to link it below, but individuals who had loneliness were at greater risk to experience heart attack and stroke, and of the people who had a history of heart attack and stroke and experienced loneliness, they were at greater risk for death. This is serious stuff. Why am I saying this? Because I bet there's a majority of you right now watching this video who are feeling lonely. And I want to encourage you to reach out to somebody. Again, loneliness and not feeling lonely has nothing to do with how many people, right? It just has to do with making some connection. That connection might even be with a pet or an animal, but can you reach out to somebody? Can you text somebody? Can you write somebody? Can you join a support group, even if it's virtual, and make some connections? I also want to make it a point, loneliness and combating loneliness, it doesn't mean you even have to show up in person with somebody. It doesn't even mean you have to meet with them a lot, right? It's really that feeling that you have of being lonely. That's what we're working on here. And there's no rules or no way that social interactions and connections are supposed to look. It can look different for all kinds of people. I can go a week without talking to somebody, but the fact that I have my dog Nico with me a lot and I'm talking to him all the time, like I never feel lonely. So it might look different for you. That's okay. Don't make it feel like it has to look a certain way. It's totally personal. This literally has a huge impact on your health. Inside my Dementia Care Club, I have support rooms and support groups, and I have Careblazers who text each other every day. I have Careblazers who call each other, message each other, email each other, just to let them know we're thinking of each other, or I'm having a hard day, and that other person can respond back and say, I'm here for you, I get it, right? Who do you have? Or if you don't have somebody, that's okay. Who can you have? Make this a goal for the rest of the year to find somebody you can connect with. A lot of times it might take the discomfort of you reaching out to somebody, especially as we know relationships can kind of fade and go by the wayside. And given the busy life that you have and everything you have going on, it's easy to let those things go by the wayside. But if there's somebody you've lost touch with, or somebody you might want to spark a relationship or a friendship with, what steps can you take today? Can you even hop into my free Facebook group and say, I'm looking for a Careblazer accountability partner. I'm looking for somebody like we used to call them back in the day, like a pen pal or a texting pal, right? Put yourself out there and see what connections you can make. I cannot tell you how many Careblazers have joined my program, the Dementia Care Club, and have said, oh my gosh, I felt so lonely. Now I realize I'm not alone. Now I realize I'm surrounded by community. I guarantee you there are other things out there like that, maybe even a local support group near you that you can join and connect with some people. Loneliness, while you may have heard that term and it may get talked about from time to time, what people aren't talking about a lot is like the serious health risks that come along with that. That's my challenge for you today, Careblazer. I know it's a big challenge, and even if you're not ready yet to make any forward step into contacting somebody, maybe just let that seed plant in your mind and stay open to possible connections. There might be people around you that would be loving to come into a relationship with you, a friendship with you. There might be people who you've lost touch with along the years that might love to get back in touch with you. And sometimes it just takes you reaching out. But just let it sit, let it simmer in your mind, and stay open to it. I know that's a big challenge. For those of you who want to check out what my Dementia Care Club is all about and experience the support rooms with those Careblazers, there's a link in the description below that you can check out and learn more. There's also a red subscribe button on your screen. You can click on it and subscribe for free so you don't miss important announcements and videos. It's totally free to subscribe. All right, Careblazer, I'll be back with a new video next week. Sending you love. Bye.